Hey guys, it's Cauliflower.
And Chris.
Welcome to Choly Chats. So this is actually a free Choly Chats. This is just a free talk Choly Chats. There is no topic. Well, there will be topics, but there's not going to be like a set topic like I usually do. And it's been, I just have to say, it's been a while since we've done like this kind of a Choly Chats for a reason. So some of you might have seen or noticed that I've kind of like, stepped back and haven't really done much of this type of a forum because honestly, it's something that I needed to kind of take some time and look back at and realize where I need to go with it. So, tonight, there's a couple of things I need to get off my chest. If Chris wants to chime in, he's more than welcome to. There's a couple of things that have been going on that have put me in a position where I am kind of contemplating things about where I'm going with certain things, if that makes any sense. And if it doesn't make any sense, that's what Choly Chats is about. We're pretty much just going to vent until it makes sense. Right, Chris?
Yeah, and if you have any questions, just type in the space below. Thank you.
This is why he's my best friend.
Thank you.
Okay,
anyway,
so
go on, go on.
Where do I begin?
At the beginning.
Ever since you guys have watched my Amazon video, ever since that video went up, there have been a lot of, I've sort of like sat back and kind of like had a bit of a, what do you call this? Like a epiphany.
There you go.
And ever since that Amazon video where, listen, it's about reviews that got taken off of my channel, which, not my channel, my Amazon page. Ever since that happened, it's been like an eye-opener for me. I basically had to step back and realize that there's some issues that have obviously come into play. I really think at this point, just like with what I'm doing with the Amazon review page, I'm pretty much starting over, where I can't really worry about what happened, how it got to the point it got to, and it seems to have kind of come to a point where it's full circle for everything that I do. It's kind of difficult to say because if you don't know me personally, like Chris does, I really love certain people. I do, and I won't stop loving them. I love them to death. The thing is that sometimes when you're involved in certain things, that kind of gets lost in the attempts.
Scramble of things.
It scrambles things, and there are just, for me, there are just more important things that I've been trying to focus on than trying to focus on the things that went wrong. Instead of trying to figure out, like, why did this happen? Why did it go this way? Why did this happen? I've been trying to pretty much just focus on what I need to just go and do beyond that. So this past week, and this is the biggest eye-opener, and I haven't really mentioned it much more than on my social media, so anybody that follows me on Facebook, but I don't really speak about my personal life, so this is probably going to be the only time I do. This past week, I've been dealing with my daughter, who's been having some issues with a friend, someone who she's close to. It's gotten to a point with my daughter, not with my daughter, with this friend of hers, that it's gotten to the point where it's become so bad and so toxic that I've had to advise her that she needs to distance herself. What happened, in a very just small explanation, from the beginning of October, these two girls were very good friends from earlier grades, and it seemed like everything was going okay, but this year it seems like they butt heads. What I think happened is because my daughter's maturing in a different way, and her friend still seems to be
stuck in childhood.
Stuck in a childhood phase, but has an adult way, or tries to deal with adult issues that are beyond her. And what happened to these two girls is that my daughter got overwhelmed, and she got to a point where she didn't really understand how to deal with this type of situation. And at the beginning of October, when she felt this way and she felt overwhelmed, I told her to distance herself. So she did, and she tried a few times to give herself space, and it has culminated into this big, huge... It's culminated into the fact where it turned things ugly. My daughter has Asperger's. She doesn't understand a lot of social things. She is smart. She is aware. But there are certain social phrases and things that kids say that she's not hip to all the time. My daughter tries to be as polite, as friendly, and as likable as she can be. She's not about trends. She's not about disliking people just for the sake of disliking them.
She's like her mother has a heart of gold.
Well, the way I used to be.
You still are.
This past week, my heart has broken in 7 different places. My daughter has come home, and I have never seen her so overwhelmed and so upset and so stressed about someone who she thought was close to her, someone who she thought was a friend of hers, completely turn on her because my daughter asked for space. Now, for me, I know when something gets a little too much, and maybe this is my fault, when something gets a little too much, when something feels like it's overwhelming, or that it feels like you want to help but you can't help because it's out of your jurisdiction or it's out of your comfort zone, you need to step back. And I explained this to my daughter, and my daughter explained this to this person, this friend of hers, and this friend of hers took it to an ugly place. It went from 0 to 360 in literally a week.
Not like what you would think that most 13-year-old or 11-year-olds
my
would
daughter's
do.
12. Her friend is 11.
No, okay, then rephrasing that. Not what you think that most tweens would do.
Now,
but
as a mother and as a person who's personally gone through this with boyfriends, who's gone through this with close friends, who's gone through this with people I know on the internet, I had to take a little bit of a step back, because for my daughter, and trying to explain to her that sometimes you can't make a person realize that you're only trying to be, your intentions are good, but they're not getting or understanding what that is.
Yeah.
My daughter only wanting space from somebody who's overwhelming and who's too possessive and who's too, into the more like following everybody else and trending and that. And my daughter's not like that, and thank God.
Never has,
and
never will
she, for the first time, she felt overwhelmed, even though she wanted to continue being this person's friend, and she wanted to continue being a help and a support, which shook me completely to the core. And it made me realize a lot of things that sometimes you have to realize where your limit is reached. As much as you love people, as much as you are close to people, sometimes, some instances could mean that it is toxic, and the realization of that can be a hard thing, because she invested some time into this friend of hers.
Yeah.
And as her mother, and as somebody who has recently dealt with this stuff, and all of my life, never mind just recently, I have dealt with this stuff most of my life. So for me, it was a wake-up call. It was a heartbreak. It was a shake-up to, let's look what's really important, what's not really important. And I've had to really give my my focus to her. I mean, my focus is on her anyway, but I feel like I have taken that kind of away from her because I've been so elsewhere. And I don't want to do that. I love my daughter. I want my daughter to always know that she has me, and she will always have me, and that I am her best friend in this world. And if nothing else, if I lose everybody I've ever known in this life, at least I have her. And there are things that I want to say that are hard right now because this is so hard for me, but I have to say it. Like, I have been feeling this way for weeks and weeks and weeks. Like, I have friends that I love dearly, and I do, and I care about them a lot, but I have to be honest, like, it's gotten to a point because of certain things that don't matter, they get blown out of proportion, and then they get into a point where it makes the friendships affected, and I can't do it. I just can't. I just can't do it anymore. Like, I just can't. And I just at this point have been taking some time and stepping back away and putting things in perspective. And for those of you that know me, you know what I'm involved in, and I've been stepping away from that because of her and because of the realization that I think her and I, mother and daughter, it's so hard because I feel like she's misunderstood the way I am, and we try to do the best we can with the best intentions that we have, because that's the kind of heart we have, and we mean nothing more than that. But sometimes people don't realize this, and they think that there's an underlying agenda or we're about something else, and it is what it is. It's a pure intention, but it's not always received that way, and people look at it like, oh, it's just, the fact of the matter is that I don't want to always feel like I have to explain, or that I have to give, that I have to change who I am in order to conform to what people need from me. Like, I don't mind being there for people. I do not mind it. I have friends that I'm close to. I have, and I love dearly, and there are certain things that I don't mind, and then there are certain things that I feel like shouldn't need so much energy and attention. Not everybody is going to like what you do all the time. Not everybody is going to be into what you do all the time, and when you keep your focus on worrying about why people don't always understand you or always like you, like my channel, for instance, like, I spend a good enough time thinking, like, I just want to be liked for me, not because of who I know or who I'm involved with or what I'm involved. I want my channel to be what it was when I began. Maybe I was, amateurish. I didn't know what I was doing, but as I've grown for the 3 years, I just want to go back to what I know, and
back to basics.
Back to basics. I'm trying to get back to basics. I want to get back to being the dork that I am, trying to just be as fun as I am, because even though I love doing, talking about beauty and makeup and all that stuff, there's a lot of other, there's just a lot more about that doesn't have to be so serious, or doesn't have to be so competitive, or doesn't have to be about,
nor should it.
An easy place to be. And I tried to dabble in that this year, and I really feel that it's kind of taught me a lesson that, sometimes even though you're doing something that's relative to this, it doesn't necessarily mean you belong in that same community. And that's where I have to kind of step back from it. I like doing what I do from my perspective. Yes, I love makeup. I love beauty. I love doing reviews. But I love other things too, and I don't want to have to feel that I have to conform in order to make people want to watch me because I am a beauty channel. I'm a beauty channel with my own essence, and that's the way everybody should be.
I like that.
It's the way everybody should be. They should stop worrying about dislikes, who likes them, who comments to them, who has this, that, and the other thing. Just do who you are, because obviously if you have subscribers, people that follow you, people that love you, people that are friends with you, people that support you, obviously they love you, and that should be enough.
Exactly. If you are enjoying what you do, and other people, and even if you have like just a handful of people that really appreciate you truly, and you make a little difference in their lives just by doing what you do. That's all that matters.
I mean, Chris can tell you when I started,
she was so nervous, like her hair and.
Well, yeah, I still do that, but the thing is that I wasn't part of anything really. I mean, I was dabbling in blogging, and I was dabbling in the coupon freebie area, which I miss. But the beauty thing, like the makeup stuff and doing the hauls and kind of like, you know, the budget kind of thing, that was my thing. That was like, yeah, you can buy makeup, but you can buy it for a cheaper price and all that kind of stuff. And that's where I excel. Doing everything else, I dabbled this year, and in some stuff I felt like, I don't know, but my thing is that I don't want things to be always about proving something or fighting for a cause or anything like that. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I had to step back and look at things for what's more important, and what's more important is the real people in my life, like literally I can physically touch and see. Even though I have an affinity for some people that I am close to online, and I love them dearly, 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 but at the same time, sometimes it tests boundaries, and I've had to sort of like step back and really look at it, and you know, I haven't changed the way I feel. I have not changed that. The only thing I've changed is that I'm staying in my space without worrying or encompassing in all the things that cause the negativity all the time. You know, and and you can work from that. You can grow from that. You can, you know, you can excel in that. And that's the kind of thing I'm teaching my daughter right now, and that's my focus right now. The other thing is I know that some people think that once I don't engage with them, that I'm giving them drama. It's not what I'm doing. It's not what I'm doing. There's some people I've had to cut off completely, and there's a reason for that. And they know the reason for that. And because of that, I am not faltering. I don't care how many people you contact. I don't care how many times you want to. Once you say certain things to me and you mistake me for somebody who is something else.
First of all, that's
I have
very
to step
immature.
away from you.
That whole that I don't know. That just
yeah, there's
seems
a
very
situation
immature.
I'm not going to go into. It
But
was bearing on the same thing that happened with my losing my reviews and how I reacted. I made a video about that, and there was some people that commented and some people that didn't like the fact that I felt that I couldn't trust people, and I still have those issues. I don't feel completely comfortable right now. I'm coming around because I have people that have showed to me that they really cared and they really stood by me, and I will never forget them for that, and I will always be there for them. They know who they are. And in recent times, because of my Amazon video, I had somebody come back to me and message me and actually extend her feelings to me, which I appreciated. But because of my interaction with her personally, it doesn't change how I am. It doesn't change me. I am a very open-hearted person. I don't mind talking to people. I don't mind sharing things with people. I do have a bit of a issue of allowing people in certain areas, but it doesn't mean I changed who I am. And I don't want to have to feel that because I speak to certain people that I had outs with, that that's it. I turn my back on the people I care about. No. I just like it that there's an understanding and there's a civility and there's a calmness, and that's what I want. I want just an understanding, a civility, and a calmness.
That's why she started this.
I don't want to have where somebody's sitting there hurt because I hurt them. But at the same time, it doesn't mean that I'm going to be their buddies all the time, or I'm going to stick, you know, other people in the back because of it. That's not who I am. I like just having civility. You know, I've had to forgive people in my own personal life that I never thought I would. And sometimes you have to, just to be able to feel like you can function in life. And some things are going to change for me, you know, in the fall, and that's the way life is. I have to stop hiding. I have to stop running. I have to stop thinking that everything I say and do is somehow misconstrued because somebody doesn't react to me the right way. I can't control that. So I have to step back and allow people to be who they are, and I want to be allowed to be who I am. And my daughter opened me up to that because she's dealing with something that reminded me and shook me up so much. I don't want my child dealing with this. I don't want my child dealing with investing in somebody and caring about somebody and wanting to understand why this person's changing on them, and this person is flat out
Just being mean.
Just being mean to her. I can't. It broke me. It broke me. My daughter is a loving, sweet, honest, polite, doesn't look to hurt anybody. She doesn't understand a lot of social cues and things like that, but that doesn't mean that she's not a person with feelings, and she's not a person that doesn't have an opinion.
Oh.
And she matters.
Very much.
And that's what I'm trying to teach her, that she matters. I don't want anybody making her feel that, and that's the way she's been feeling, and that kicked my ass. So if anybody wants to know why they haven't seen or heard or whatever, she comes first. And
absolutely,